Frank Hampson,
Here.
Dan Roberts,
Present.
Brian Stabley,
Here.
Kathy Valentine,
Present.
Sam Tinsley,
Here.
Robert Meade,
Here.
James Hart,
Here.
Ralph Gwynn,
Present.
James Wagner,
Here.
David Thompson.
Here.
Do I hear a motion to approve the February 9, 2015 minutes and the March 9, 2015 agenda?
I move.
I second.
I have a correction on those minutes. Including the cover page, if you turn to the 5th page, and 4th paragraph, if you include the cover page, go to page 5.
I've got numbers on.
Mine's got numbers.
That was the one that I got covered.
And go down to the 4th paragraph.
Okay.
Justice Roberts made a motion. I was the only nay instead of Justice White.
Roberts, maybe, surely I was on that too.
That was another one.
Say approve as amended.
Okay, it's been approved as amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by the same sign. Motion stands. Tony, would you please give the treasurer report?
Okay, beginning balance as of February the 1st, 2015 for County General was $2,381,452.63. Revenues for the month were $408,937.04. Disbursements for the month, $663,752.39, resulting in a balance on February the 28th, 2015 for County General of $2,126,637.28. Beginning balance as of February the 1st, 2015 for County Roads was $341,312.82. Revenues for the month were $144,772.54. Disbursements for the month were $120,518.99, resulting in a balance on February 28, 2015 of $365,566.37. 1/4 cent sales tax revenues for February were $119,806.34. 1% county sales tax revenue for February were $272,772.65. General revenue turnback for February was $14,988.55. Highway revenue turnback for February was $82,002.62. 1/2% state highway tax for February was $43,374.37.
Is that it? Are there any committee reports?
We have a copy of the Budget and Finance Committee minutes in the packet, I believe. And I've served as a report.
Where'd you get it? You want?
There you go.
Okay,
Duly submitted, sir, Mr. Chairman.
all right. Do we have a first? Just approved? It's approved then. There are no announcements or presentations at this time. New business.
I would make a motion that this ordinance under new business be read. And I think we can surely read this in its entirety.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed by the same sign? Okay.
Jump out here.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Boone, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance amending the annual budget for Boone County for the fiscal year 2015 and authorizing the county judge to administer such budget and for other purposes. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Boone County, Arkansas. Section 1, the following appropriations are made from the Public Defender's Office Fund number 3024 from 3024-0417-1004 Public Defender Personnel Contract Labor, $3,000. And that goes to the account number 3024-417-1003 Public Defender Personnel Extra Help, $3,000. These funds are a transfer of funds within the Public Defender's budget with no new funds appropriated. In the next part of the account, 3024 Public Defender's Fund to account number 3024-0417-2002 Public Defender Supplies Small Equipment, $250. To account number 3024-0417-3021 Public Defender OS&C Other Services and Charges, postage, $250. And also the account of 3024-417-3022 Public Defender Other Services and Contracts Cell Phones, $500. And also the account 3024-0417-3030 Public Defender Other Services and Contracts Travel, $1,500. These funds, $2,500, are monies available to the Public Defender's budget. Section 2, the following appropriation are made from Drug Court Fund number 3028. From 3028 Drug Court, $4,500 to account number 3028-0404-3101 Drug Court Other Services and Contracts Training and Education, $4,500. These funds, $4,500, are a transfer of funds within the Drug Court budget from grant money. Section 3, the following appropriation are made from the County Sheriff's budget, 1,000-0400. And this comes from 1,000-0400-2006 County Sheriff Supplies Clothing, $4,860. And it goes to account number 1,000-0400-1015 County Sheriff Personnel Uniform Allowance, $4,860. These funds, $4,860, are a transfer of funds within the County Sheriff's budget with no new funds appropriated. And in Section 4, if any provision of this section or section of this ordinance is held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions and sections of this ordinance. And to such end, the provisions and sections of this ordinance are declared to be severable. Section 5, the ordinance herein enacted is an appropriations ordinance and therefore is effective immediately. I would move for adoption.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
David, on section 1, are you increasing? I mean, did last month, what was it talked about, or maybe your budget meeting or something about it was $2,000 or $3,000 was carryover that he had not spent at that time, and they decided to give that to him?
What it is, Robert, is that $2,500 was money that was available within his Fund 2 budget that was not budgeted before.
Okay.
So he's budgeting that amount of money.
And, okay.
And the $3,000
Yes.
we should have done last meeting.
It was the ordinance that was already there to do last month, but he's just redone his whole budget now, including his $2,500.
Two different amounts of money.
Yes.
Two different and separate amounts of money.
So you're,
The 3,000, okay, we did this at the committee, but that's all right. The 3,000 we should have done last month, it was just a line item transfer. He was moving it from one line item to another. okay?
No, I remember talking about that contract labor and
Yeah.
going to extra help.
Well, but that was already gonna happen, and then we got to talking about the $2,500, and we kinda thought, well, we didn't need to do that. But they were two separate issues. The $3,000 is just a move of money that was already appropriated. The $2,500 is what we agreed on last time that was unbudgeted in his budget, in his account, and he budgeted that. So it was a line item transfer on the 3,000, and then the 2,500 was unbudgeted previously.
Okay, I'm with you there. Now, my next question is, under the contract labor, moving it to extra help, what guarantee do I have as a Quorum Court member that this extra help at some point in time this year will not be overworked where we're gonna have to wind up paying April's retirement? What guarantee can you give me, or he can give me, that he won't overwork this extra help?
Well, the
To cause us, the county, to pay.
Oh, I understand. I understand. I know. What we've run into before is when we had a part-time person that worked in more than just this county. So we've ran into that. Now, I don't know, I can't guarantee you, I'm not in that branch of government and everything. You'd have to talk to them. And, I think we've made this point several times that, we kind of expect the department heads to watch this.
But we've seen in the past, this did not happen.
That is true.
I don't mind moving it, but I do have a problem going from contract labor and putting it into extra help when he was saying that he was needing extra expense money. Could you not move that into extra expense?
Well,
Because that's the only question that raises a question to me.
Okay, now, as he explained it, and I'm taking his word on this, that the line item for contract labor, either the state or the auditors or somebody told him that it couldn't go in that line item.
I'm aware of that.
So, but yeah, I can't guarantee you what he's gonna do. No, I cannot personally guarantee you what he's gonna do or not gonna do. Now, we can write him a letter, reiterate, just anything you would suggest.
He's not gonna get any more money.
Well, but if you work extra, if you work that.
It becomes an expense of the county and we have to pay
Yeah,
it.
and we have to pay it, so it will come out to be extra money, maybe a few dollars, but, that's just my point, is what guarantee do we, the Quorum Court has that he will not work this person over those hours under temporary employment?
We don't have any guarantee from any of the department heads that that's not gonna happen. That's one of those things that we just have to trust they manage properly. Sorry, I spoke for you.
No,
Justice
that's,
Thompson.
I wish somebody would get me in less trouble.
Better you than me.
Is the quorum done? Questions?
Is that, that's the
Yeah.
extent to which I can explain
I
the ordinance. Now,
understand. It's like putting you over the barrel, you've got nothing to say.
Well, the
But
application
I just
of-
want to bring this
of-
out, that I have a problem with this.
Yeah, if it,
If that happens, because now the county taxpayers will be on the hook for their retirement for that
more money.
individual.
It's a legitimate concern that we've seen happen over and over again.
I tell you what, I would volunteer to go and visit with him, or you could volunteer to go visit with him and reiterate, and that really is the most that we can do.
Well, if he's wanting more money for expenses, this is a way to take his contract labor and give that money that's in that line item already, and
And
give
get a
it to
little
him,
more.
and let him put it into other line items for expenses, I guess. If he needs more stamp money or cell phones or whatever.
But didn't he also say that he was wanting to hire a part-time person? So
We're
that's
like,
what this was.
But see, this part-time person, see, as
Understand?
we know, Marion County, or is it Baxter County, that is a salaried individual,
Yeah.
they work only for that county.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna use this part-time help as not only Boone County, but Newton County
Marion
and
County.
part of Marion or Marion County.
And they'd probably stick a stamp on the letter for Baxter County, I bet.
Yeah, well, whatever.
May I interject? I think if that was to happen, the best thing we could do would be to terminate them, and even though the county would have to pay back taxes up to the point that they were hired, then it would stop then, and cease then. Then, 6 months later, you can hire them back as they would, as part-time labor or whatever.
Could potentially minimize the amount, if we know about it as soon as it happens. That'd be-
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, you don't know about it until after the fact.
Right.
Because if they get a heavy caseload and they need that individual's gonna work. That's not the individual's fault, they're just doing what their boss tells them to do.
Lucretia, could
Yes, sir.
you just give him a call? Would
Yes.
that be, would that be satisfactory or
Well, I
acceptable
mean-
to folks?
Yeah,
Just so he knows that,
but
we're.
that still won't stop him from
Nope.
working with this person. That's the whole dilemma here, for me.
And it's like Judge Hathaway said, as soon as we know, we can terminate the person and at least stop the, additional, but this is part of our, legislative dilemma, you might say, because we're not in that branch and we don't run the office.
Question, if he does run over budget, allowed money, what kind of anticipation do you have of how much is he gonna spend? $500, $5,000, $1 million?
Oh, no, it'd be closer to 500 than any of those other numbers that you threw out.
Well, I don't think we ought to fire the guy for going
Well, no,
500.
that guy,
It's
the guy
perpetual at
that,
that
the
point.
employee that actually was incurring the hours and going to have to pay retirement then. The way this is, and you may not have been party to this discussion earlier, but we had people working part-time in Boone County. We thought we were pretty good shape, but they were also working part-time in another county or two. So the state figures it on a state basis, not a county by county basis. So what we had in effect was somebody we really kind of thought was part-time, but they worked enough hours in another couple of counties to make them build up to a level where retirement had to be paid on. That was, I don't know, that was kind of an unforeseen thing. I don't know whether this person is going to be working anymore for anybody else. Maybe we could just check on that. Maybe that would be the bottom thing to check that person. Yes.
I had spoken to his assistant Sherry concerning this, and they have part-time help, but they were out ill and didn't know if they'd even be able to return. And so when the auditors told them that they needed to move the money and not pay out of contract labor because it's not a contract, then that was what the money was supposed to go for.
But this actual employee is not there currently. So, okay, well, we could still, we could check on the new employee that would replace this. And, then we could say, to him, don't let him work anywhere else. Or budget it in to, include it in, stop the hours, before they reach the point where we have to kick in more.
I could.
Is not the Social Security requirement?
Yeah.
You don't have that in here either. You have, why not charge him whatever it's gonna be if he doesn't use it all? That's okay. You don't put retirement in there too. It's our responsibility.
Charge everything out to him whether he uses it or not.
Absolutely.
Well, we could hedge that way. We charge him for, the $2,500, we could throw in some retirement based on the $2,500.
It's my understanding that that $3,000 is going to go not only for salary, but also for, it would have to be broken down for Social Security.
But you can't
Well-
do that, it has to be by line item.
Well, if you broke the $3,000, the 2,500, that, I get back and forth on the wrong number, but the $3,000 is what we're looking for on the part-time. So we could kick that back to, you could prorate the Social Security, just on the standard rate
Right.
for Social Security, for retirement, and pull back and say, well, that's all we've got in that line item.
For salary and then save the rest for the
Yeah.
other, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that, oh,
He can, the part-time person can work, correct me if I'm wrong, work outside, but he can't work for another government entity, right?
anybody's covered by acres, and that's public employees. I don't know, there might be a water department or something like that, you know, that, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily have to be this. There would be some other outfits that would be covered by acres. So, you know, that would, any of it would be the kicker. But we could, you know, we could pull back on that. That doesn't have any, I mean, that's subject to amending and approving or whatever, I guess, in that section 1. If we wanted to, you know, amend that to, I don't know, what's it, retirement is 14%, Lucretia?
14.65.
And then Social Security 7, so 21%, 2 times, it would be $600 would be about 20% of 3,000. And we could pull back and appropriate $2,400 of that, and then just, I mean, we can restructure this
Actually,
somewhere
we
or
should
other.
move to amend to have those corrections
Yeah.
made so that we could vote on it and have it be done.
Okay.
You make that
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
That we pull back to
I
$2,400?
can't give her a figure, I just reduce it to an amount which allows us to charge both
To
social
deduct the,
and retirement.
okay.
Well,
Motion.
but the person hasn't worked that over. I mean, this is, you're talking about into the future, right?
Well, but that's the only thing we can do to guard against.
Well, I've
Put it
got to
back
make a
in.
motion to strike section 1, because the way I see it, section 1, 2, and 3 should have been all separate appropriation ordinances.
Just can't win.
No, I know.
It's either too long, or it's too short, or
But I
it's
mean,
too,
I'm
it's
just saying,
too,
I
too
wouldn't
hot
have
or
a
too
problem
cold.
with the drug court, and I wouldn't have a problem with the sheriff's office uniforms if there's on separate appropriation.
We can amend this one ordinance.
You
and
can
pass
amend it any way you want to.
They don't have to be separate, and this way we only have to pay to publish one ordinance rather than what, 4 or 5? 3?
Well, I just haven't,
I would like to second Justice Roberts' motion.
You have a second?
And the motion was
Was to amend by reducing the salary amount to whatever it takes to pay the benefits there.
And that is
Social
introduced
Security
as an amendment, right?
Yes.
Because we have a motion on the floor. So, yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes carry. Now we're back to the main motion.
No, we have to do the amendment first.
We just got
Did
to.
it.
That's what I said, no sense, that we can go back to the, now we go back to the original.
He said main
Motion is
motion.
amended.
Yeah. Going back to the main motion is amended.
I think you have a question in the audience.
Is everybody with the quorum court done? Okay, Dixie?
On the matter that y'all are discussing, I had a couple of questions. First of all,
you've
when,
got questions. Yeah, go ahead.
first of all, last month when the gentleman was asking for the funds and he mentioned the different counties that he works for. My question is, y'all asked him about the other counties and their budgets, and he said that they had appropriated them, but he never gave a percentage. My question would be, what percentage does he do for Boone County, and what percentage is he asking Boone County to support? In other words, he has a secretary that does only Marion County. So are we asking, footing more of the bill for other counties? Are they, you know? That was the one thing. And then about the salary, I was wondering, when you're hiring temporary or part-time personnel, if it would be better to hire through one of the agencies in town. That way they're actually the agency's employee, so it doesn't matter what they work, they would never be qualified for the benefits through the county because they're actually one of the agency's employees. So that might be something that y'all may consider for a future. That's it. Thank you.
Sort of along the line of what she said, you could easily do it with just put in there that and have a tracking report every week to, let's say, the county judge or to somebody that would be in charge of the exact hours he worked. And then you'd know exactly how many hours he worked. It wouldn't take long, but you're going to, okay, you worked, okay, and right, that's it. That's all I have to say.
Anyone else? Call for the vote as amended.
James Widener,
Yes.
David Thompson,
Yes.
Kara Staton. Yes. Frank Hampson,
Yes.
Dan Roberts,
Yes.
Brian Snavely,
Yes.
Kathy Valentine,
Yes.
Sam Tinsley,
Yes.
Robert Meek,
Yes.
Jim Park,
Yes.
Ralph Gwynn.
Yes. It passes. Okay. I guess,
No,
go ahead. Sorry, Karen.
I want to apologize for the personnel committee not meeting the first Monday of the month. I have my father is very ill, and it's very hard for me to be away from him for right now. As a matter of fact, we just returned from Springfield where he was in the hospital last week. I would like to schedule a personnel committee meeting, not this Thursday, but Thursday of next week. If the members of the committee have a problem with that day, please let me know. I'm thinking about 6:30, and we can meet here. And just so I'm giving everybody a heads up, I would like to propose for your consideration in the interim that we appoint a co-chair of that committee, because I'm not sure how long this is going to play out with my dad, and I don't want to neglect the responsibilities of the committee because of me. So that's all I wanted to say.
What time did you say, Kara?
6:30, a week from this Thursday.
First of all, Kara, our prayers with your dad.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Go ahead.
I've got a road problem I'd like to bring for you. I know you guys probably know about it, Robert, but they're off Sand Flat on Ayers Road. They came in, they put a culvert across there. On either side of that, there's about 6 inches of mud right now, all the way up that road up to the chicken house.
In the road or on the side?
On the road. It's not the side. I mean, you hit where you put the culvert in, it's real nice. You get off of that and you just sink into it.
Okay.
How does it, what color mud is it?
Same color mud as your own shirt, just a little bit darker.
Black dirt?
Sure ain't red.
No. Might be red.
Anything else?
I know you've been working on looking at another building, prosecuting attorneys.
Yeah.
And would it benefit your office if the Building and Grounds Committee met, maybe help that? I don't even know who's on that.
There's no such thing.
Oh, we done away with
That
that?
was just.
We done away with that, okay. Well, I guess you're on your own, Bill.
Personnel.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.